Hello, how,
Welcome.
welcome to Sassy Time podcast. Today I'm joined by the one and only Jaxon Samwell. How are you, Jackson?
Hello. Very good. How are you?
Not too bad. Like a little bit shaken up. We had so many technical difficulties, and it is what it is. But we worked through them. But other
We're
than
here,
that,
we're here in the end and ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
we did. For people that may not know, would you like to give an introduction into yourself? Like, tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
yourself.
for
Yeah.
sure. My name's Jaxon Samwell, as you already would know, and I'm 17 years old, and I guess you could say I'm a TikToker. I've only been at it for a month, but most people call me a TikToker by now. Other than that, I'm a skateboarder. I've been skateboarding for 7 years. Picked up a few sponsors, and now sort of getting into like the video editing side of things, which led me onto TikTok. And here we are on my first podcast.
Exciting. You said you've only been doing it for a month, like the TikTok thing. So
Mm.
obviously it's been going pretty fast. Like, what's
Yeah,
that
it's
like?
crazy.
Because I mean, I don't know if you've deleted all of your old videos, but like I scrolled all the way down, and it seems to be like you started off mainly with skating videos. Like,
Mhm.
did you really expect much of it, or like did you just sort of start making videos and it just started going off?
Yeah, so what happened is back when I first like started uploading a few videos, they were really bad, like I'll be honest. And I
Yeah,
think most people can relate to like if they're first uploading like when you're first on TikTok, most of your videos they're not that good because you don't know what you're doing.
yeah,
Which was the same as me. About 2 months ago, that was me. And I just uploaded like some random clips I had in my camera roll. Wasn't really like taking the time and putting the effort into making them good because I wasn't like expecting anything of it. I wasn't taking it seriously at the time.
yeah.
But then I met a couple of other people in the city one time that were filming for actual like proper good TikToks, and I got chatting to them, and they convinced me to film my first video. So I was like, you know what, let's go for it. I filmed a kickflip video.
Yeah.
So I think some of you, if you see my TikTok, you might have seen I have a kickflip challenge where I asked people to try to do a kickflip for all the money in my wallet. And I was like, all right, let's try film one. So I had to really step up my comfort zone for it because I've never really gone up to strangers and just asked them to do something. So yeah, it was a bit scary, but I did it, and I put a bit of effort into actually editing the video, uploaded it, and woke up the next day and it was on like 20,000 views, and I gained like another 200 followers, and I was like, all right, if I actually put effort into my videos, maybe I can see some results,
I
and that's
mean,
exactly what I did from then on.
like 100% though. Like you're always gonna get what you put into something, and if you don't mind me asking, like which TikTokers were the ones that really like inspired you to get into it? Like, what was it?
So it was all the people from Adelaide. So the reason being is obviously you see all the famous people on TikTok, but actually seeing people in person, like seeing these TikTokers in real life and what they actually do, and seeing how it's actually not that hard and it's all it takes is a little bit of effort. I was like, it made me go, yeah, I can for sure do this myself.
Sure, for sure. It it'd be pretty weird. Like, especially like most people, like I'd say, like, it's a bit of a grind to be able to get up to the point that you've been at. Like, do you feel like you got a free ride in a sense, or do you feel like that's just the nature of TikTok?
Yeah, so obviously everyone would know TikTok, it feels like it's really easy to go viral. Like a lot of random people, you don't have to be a big like have a big name already. Just you can upload a random video and every now and then TikTok will be kind to you and boost the video and bam, you've got 10,000 followers. Like that's happened to a lot of people. But in saying that, you have to if you want to keep at it and like keep gaining followers, you need to be consistent and still always put in the effort. Otherwise, people won't be interested. Say you do one video, it goes viral, you get 10,000 followers. Awesome. You need to keep that up. Keep posting every day. Keep the quality over quantity. That's what I always say, because you can upload like 100 videos and they're all sort of rubbish, and you get 100 likes on each video. it's not that good. It's not a good look either for your page. If
Yeah.
people click on your profile and they see 100 videos with all like 500 views and less, it's not a good look compared to like a few decent videos with like over 10k views, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, I guess it's like trial and error to an extent.
Mm,
Like, I mean,
definitely.
I think one thing that, like, I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but like you get an idea and you're like, this is the idea. This is gonna be the one to like send off to the stars, and then it still does well, but it flops compared to your other videos. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, especially when you've been coming up with this idea for a while. Like, have you ever had a situation like that yet?
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple of videos where I filmed them and I've thought about them before I filmed them. I'm like, all right, this has got to be a viral video. But in every case that I've thought that, and it doesn't turn out to be what I think,
Yeah.
I always am a bit disappointed. So from now on, like, well, this is going back about 2 weeks ago now. So all this is really recent, which is quite. So that's what I was doing about 2 weeks ago, and I figured it's better to just treat each video the same because you never know which one is
Yeah.
gonna that like 1 million, 2 million plus video. Obviously, some videos are better than others, and they'll do a little bit more. But for instance, my most viral video at the moment, it's sitting at 2.1 million views. It's a question that asked some girls what their snap score is, and they had some
Yeah.
pretty funny responses. And filming that at the time, I was just standing there and I didn't know what to say to them. I was like, okay, what's your snap score? Like, I didn't even plan it, and it just came out. Like, it was a super random, just on the spot question, and that was the 2.1 million view video. So there you go.
That's one thing though. Like, you're never going to be able to pick the viral videos. Like, they're just gonna happen. They're the ones that are natural, and like I think that just really shows that, like, yes, obviously the effort, consistency, and all of that is important, but at the
Yeah,
same time, like, there is that little bit of chance, I guess, in there. But at the same time, is it chance, or do you think it's just? I,
I think
I, I guess it's like more natural, I guess.
yeah. So there's a good balance. When I say consistent, like keeping it consistent and quality, I say that for the editing side. Once you've
Yeah,
already, but when it comes to like filming the video, that's when you want it to be as natural as you possibly can make it. Which is why when I'm interviewing people, if I can, like a lot of the time they want to know what the question is, but I try to ask them. Like I ask them first. I'm like, can I do the interview without telling you what the question is, so I can get your first reaction and their like straight up answer. So I always try to do that because that way their answer is going to be their first natural response, and then I'll get their natural, like my reaction will be the first reaction,
yeah,
not a fake reaction.
yeah. I mean, like, that's one thing. Like, have you ever, like, but before doing that, did you ever like try and like maybe not like force it, but like you might have recorded it once and been like, that was a really good reaction, but like, let's do it again, sort of thing. Like, have you ever tried that at all?
Yeah, there's been a couple videos where I'm like, I've done it, and then I'm like, oh, if you said this, we might be able to get a better reaction. But at the same time, I sort of feel like it's cheating because I upload the video and I'm like, I already knew what they were gonna say. It's a fake reaction. Like I'm pretending I'm all surprised with their answer, and even though like I knew what they were gonna
Yeah,
say, which I don't want to. I guess it's not really cheating, but at the same time, I want it to be as authentic as I possibly can, and like
yeah,
sort of. I guess it's sort of lying to my followers, which I don't want to do at all. So I
yeah,
definitely I don't do that anymore. I think I only did that for like one
yeah.
video,
And I mean,
but
like, the danger with that is like, if that works, then like you're gonna be more likely to do it again and do it again, and then
yeah,
now, like, I feel like it's one of those things as well, though. I feel like to an extent most people are able to subconsciously read into it a little bit. Like, I feel like maybe people are more drawn to the more natural ones because like there's just something on like a deeper level that you can sort of tell when a video is fake or not. Like, there's
yeah,
obviously those, like, I hate the videos where like, it'll be some girl and their best friend or whatever. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna kiss my best friend.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, most
yeah,
of them, I'm pretty sure they're dating, and like the whole channel is filled with that. But like, there's a lot of things on TikTok that is very obviously fake. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it, because I guess it's trying to be creative and like, abuse the system in a way. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you've got the opportunity to, I mean, effectively, if you use it right, to make free money, why wouldn't you? But
Yeah.
like, at the same time, I mean, I guess, like, once TikTok goes down, potentially, which is what we're actually going to get into next, like, what avenues are they going to be able to have? I feel like it'd be harder to, fake a whole video that's longer than 60 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. Those type of people, which good on them, like they're having fun. It's going to be harder for them to get their audience across to other platforms like YouTube and Instagram for sure.
For sure. Now, going into that though, so, obviously with the rumors about TikTok being banned in Australia, now, I haven't done that much research and it's been more hearsay than anything. Like, can you go into more detail about it? Like, I'm sure you've probably done more research than me, because, I mean, I guess it affects you a little bit more. But can you go into that for us?
Yeah, sure. So I actually uploaded a YouTube video about 2 days ago. A little bit going into a little bit of depth. I didn't want to be too serious because I hate making a video serious. I always try to make it funny. But pretty much China is able to access some of the private information, and I don't know if they have been I don't think they have any reason to, but I think the Australian government and even the US government have sort of found out about it, and they're not too happy because they want the private information secure. They don't want it to be accessed by the Chinese government. But in saying that, there's definitely a lot of reasons why it won't be deleted, and I personally reckon it won't be banned. So I don't reckon it will be. I know a lot of other people, a lot of my other TikTok friends, they don't reckon it will be. I reckon a lot of it is just rumor getting spread around the internet.
Yeah.
For starters, I'll give you a few reasons why I don't reckon it will be banned. The CEO of TikTok is in America. He's an American, and for sure he does not want it banned. So he'll be doing everything in his power to make sure it stays. Another reason, let's see. So they actually can't take an app off your phone, like physically. So say they banned it, the only thing that they'll be able to do is take it off the App Store. So if you already had a phone, then it's going to be there still. Like, you know what I mean?
Similar to like, do you remember Flappy Bird back in the day?
Yes, exactly. The similar situation. I can't remember why that got taken down, but it already got taken off the App Store.
I think it's because I think someone killed someone over it. Like, they were playing a game and like they were gonna beat their high score or something like that, and it was something ridiculous like that. But like, either way, like they can only take it off the App Store. So effectively, like, I mean, phones with TikTok on it potentially could be worth more.
You never know if it gets to that point.
Yeah, but either way, like, there's not going to be really much they can do about it. They can ban it from the App Store, but like, most people would still have it. So I guess it would stop the growth of TikTok.
Yeah, potentially.
But like, will that single-handedly kill the app? And I mean, as you're saying, like, the person, the CEO, like, he's from America, like, obviously he wouldn't have any interest in trying to like getting that information, etc., etc. And I mean, I get that in the code of it, that there's more information than any other app. Like, it gets more information than any other app. But at the same time, isn't that what you agree to when you download the app?
Yeah, so there's things you agree. Like, there's probably a list of terms and conditions which we've just pressed agree on, and we haven't even read it. So I guarantee no one reads the terms and conditions. So who knows what we're signing up to nowadays?
That's so true. I mean, like, honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if like one day someone just rocks up at my door and they're just like, all right, we're taking all of your assets and everything, and I'll be like, probably that random app that I downloaded from that ad.
Yeah, you agreed to it, but you just went along with it.
But I mean, like, that is one thing though. Like, people are so blind, and like, I feel like that's why rumors and stuff are able to come out so easily now as well. Because like, if we actually read the terms and conditions and actually looked into what we were downloading, we'd have a better understanding of it. But like most people don't really do that. They sort of just go off what other people say. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the same example, but like one thing is like a daddy long leg spider. Would you say that they're poisonous?
No, but people think they are.
And like the reason
Yeah, no.
why,
No, the other way around. Sorry, they are, but they can't bite us. I think I can't remember.
yeah. So that's what we've been told, and that's what
Yes.
we've been told. Like coming down, and I'm sure our parents got told that, and their parents got told that. Now, I can't remember the exact like article I read about it, but basically, so they came like to Australia when like the English settled or whatever, and
Yeah.
the reason why they thought they were like the most poisonous spider is because they were able to beat a redback spider in like a battle. So like obviously you'd assume this spider won. The redback spider is pretty poisonous, like one of the
Yeah.
most deadly. Of course, this spider's gonna be more poisonous. But the thing is, like, I researched it. It's not actually even a spider. It's a different type of arachnid, and it's not even poisonous. And another thing as well, on Mythbusters in 2004, they actually proved that they can pierce your skin as well.
Oh wow.
But like that's just one thing. Like I don't remember all the exact facts, but that's one thing. Like the only reason most Australians believe that is because that's what we've been told growing up, and
Yeah.
like no one's ever questioned it. That's the thing. No
Yeah.
one ever questions things that people have always said a lot and a lot. But I mean that's another thing as well. Like I don't know if you're familiar like with the Mandela effect as well,
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
but like maybe could even be a little bit of that. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. For sure.
But I mean, I feel like we went on a tangent there. TikTok.
From TikTok to Daddy Long Legs.
I mean, like I reckon it's a pretty good transition.
Yeah.
There's many relations. Maybe you could make a TikTok about daddy long leg spiders, and that'd be an interesting interview question. See how many people think they're poisonous or not.
Yeah.
I reckon the majority of people would say yes. Like I actually asked someone the other day and they said no, and I'm like, oh, you've actually questioned stuff. But like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. For sure.
but that's one thing though. Like 100%. Like I feel like we sort of just blindly follow other people. Like in a sense, we're sheep.
Yeah. Definitely. There's a lot of times I can relate to that for sure.
Like it makes, I mean, like for example, I mean maybe not the same level, but like with this podcast, I mean like in a sense I was a bit of a sheep. I was like, yeah, I've got it all set up. No worries.
Yeah.
And then problem after problem after problem. And it's like why? And it's because I didn't ask the questions of what was going to go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Need to prepare for the worst.
But speaking of preparing for the worst, obviously, you're pretty confident that TikTok won't go down, which I'm pretty confident about too. But in the event that it does, what's your plan?
Yeah. So I've already started to do a couple of things to get my followers across to my other platforms in case it does go down. And in a sense, I'm also using this as a chance to get my followers across anyway. So I think it's a good time to, because I mean it still could go down. So that's the reason. But pretty much I've been doing live streams on TikTok a lot more than I was. And in my live streams, I've just been explaining the situation to everyone that asked, because I named the live stream Australia's banning TikTok with a question mark. So people are obviously interested in that. They click on it, they ask in the chat, and I do a quick explanation. I just say China's up to some dodgy stuff, and Australia might be taking TikTok down potentially. And I always set a goal on my live streams. So for instance, say I'm on 2,000 followers on Instagram, and I say, okay, by the end of this live stream, I want to be on 2,050. I think by setting the goal and giving the people like a chance to be a part of it, a part of the achievement, they get really into it. So a
Yeah.
lot of them will go and actually follow and then come back to the live stream and like tell me they're followed. So I give them a shout out in the comments. And I found that like work a fair bit. I've done it to my YouTube as well, which is good. Like it's good to get them involved, I reckon, which I
Yeah,
try
for
to do
sure.
as much as I can.
I mean, like that sense of community is one thing that is always nice. But I mean, like effectively, like obviously, either way, you're gonna be wanting to move people to all these other platforms
Yeah,
anyway.
definitely.
Um, in case you guys are blind, as you can see below, those are all of his thingamajigos socials. So if you haven't already followed him on all of them, go ahead. But but yeah, I mean, like I guess it's prompting you to do it faster, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because yeah, if it goes down, if it does go down, it'll be within the next month. Highly doubt it, like I said, but
Yeah.
I've been doing live streams as pretty much every night for the past week, just trying to get people across, and it's worked as well. I've gained at least 100 subscribers on YouTube the past week, and then around about 300 followers on Instagram. So it's actually working.
It's
It's
pretty
good.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
But I mean, mental blank. You gotta love it when you just get a mental blank. But YouTube wise, because I feel like that's the most. I feel like that's the most the biggest platform, I would say. Like out of all of them, obviously TikTok is bigger. But on YouTube, like what type of content would we be expecting? Like I'm assuming it would be very similar, but in the sense that obviously you probably make a compilation of all of the things that you do. Like would it sort of be like that, or like is there anything different that you'd probably do on YouTube?
yeah. So I actually filmed a YouTube video today, which I'm yet to edit, which it'll probably be out sometime this week if I get enough time to finish the video. But pretty much, I want to like get a bit more into my life and like what I actually do.
Yeah.
With like not the boring stuff, the more interesting stuff. So today, for instance, I was planning on going. I was at my beach house today to give this story context, and we were planning to go down to the beach. And my brothers and a couple of my cousins are really good at doing flips, so I was just going to do a little montage of them like backflipping off the dunes and like all this like just crazy stuff, I guess. And also, I wanted to like get a few random things in, so that's coming back to the natural side of stuff, like not really planning, just going with the flow and seeing what happens, which I couldn't have asked for anything better. I was walking, had my camera out, ready to start filming the video, and a bunch of, I would say, around about 16-year-old girls. So there was probably 8 of them, and then all their mums. I think they were just on like a girls' holiday or something.
Yeah.
But 2 of them recognized me. They're like, "Oh, are you the guy from TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am actually." I was like, "Do you want to film a video?" And then the others were like, "Oh yeah, I think I've seen you on my For You page." And then they were all just going crazy from it, it was quite funny. And we ended up filming a couple of videos, a couple of TikToks with them, which will also be out this week. And then after that, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come back to our house and we'll film a couple of videos on our roof because we've got a 3-story house?" And we're like, "Wow, for sure! Like, take us back. Let's have a look." So I just filmed a little bit of that because it was just really spontaneous. So
Yeah.
I was just like explaining the situation on camera. I was like, these people just taking us back to their house just to show us around, and we're going to film a few videos. So I really like the spontaneous stuff, the stuff you don't expect, and like that all happened in a matter of 5 minutes. Like, didn't think it would happen, and then it did.
That's crazy though. That's crazy though. I mean, like, when you consider like, would you say that like you're like in real life, like when you get recognized the most, would you say it's mainly like in Rundle where you get recognized?
Oh, definitely.
Like the fact that like you're not in Rundle you
Yeah,
you-
well,
you're
yeah,
like
I-
you're ages away, and people are still recognizing you, and like what you hit 30,000 followers like the other day.
Yeah.
Like you're almost up to like 34 now, isn't it?
yeah, I'm going up around about 1,000 a day at the moment.
That's a good rate. And like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, it's exponential, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. One day it could be like 10,000 a day if I get a viral video,
Yeah,
and then it could drop to like 100 a day. You just never know.
you never know. I mean, like that's one thing. Like have you had a drop off yet? Like a decent one. Like I'm not talking about like a day, but like maybe like a few days where like the growth doesn't go at the same rate.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. Nah, at the moment it's been very consistent. I'd say my slow point was 5,000 to 10,000. That was the slowest point of the whole journey, I guess. I was getting around about 50 followers a day,
Yeah.
and it just didn't seem like much. And that was the hardest point in starting my like videoing and stuff. It's hard to get motivated when you're not seeing good results.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to have other people around me who were getting results, which
Yeah.
then they tell me they were telling me, "Hey, stick at it. We're in the same position as you." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'm gonna keep uploading, keep posting, and try to keep that quality as well," which is what I did. I was posting. I still am posting 2 videos a day, and I've been doing that for about a month.
Yeah.
And I just kept the quality up, and slowly, gradually, day by day, I could see the increase of followers. So it'd go from 50 a day to 80 to 100. And then once I hit 10K, that's when it started to really go up. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I only hit 10K nearly 3 weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago. So I've
That's
gained
crazy.
20 plus thousand in the past 2 weeks and a bit. So it's still going up pretty fast at the moment.
Like, do you find it crazy that like you're saying numbers that big, and like it wasn't that long ago that you started like did you ever think your life would involve saying those numbers?
Now, if you had told me 2 months ago when I had 0 followers, how you're going to
Yeah.
have 30,000 followers in 2 months, no chance I would have believed you.
But like right now you're feeling pretty good, but then in a few months from now you're probably gonna look back at this and be like, that was nothing. Like
Yeah,
I mean at this rate. But what do you expect? Like what do you think the peak is?
oh, I mean, potentially, like, there's no limit really. Like, it's just going to keep on going as long as I keep up the quality and the quantity.
Yeah.
Not even as much quantity as time goes on. It'll be more into pure quality. At the moment, like I said, I'm uploading 2 videos a day, which is, when you think about it, it's a fair few
Yeah.
videos. Each interview I do, or each upload, consists of at least 3 interviews.
Yeah.
There's a few that have only like 2 interviews because they're longer, but I try to make my videos, or all of my videos are 25 seconds plus.
But
So
how long would you say like it takes to like make a whole video, like start to finish, including like all of the people that you talk to that you're not going to put in the video, all of that? Like how long would you say it takes?
yeah, so that's the thing. Obviously, everyone that follows my TikToks, they see the 20-second video or the 30-second video with all the interviews, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. But what they don't see is how much time and actual effort there is behind those videos. So I'll give you a quick run through my week. So it gives you a bit of you can see what I actually do. So obviously I've got work. I'm an apprentice electrician. I work 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 7 to 3. So during the week, so between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as soon as I finish work, when I get home around about 3:30. I get straight into editing a video, and I make it my goal to always finish editing a video before I do anything else.
Yeah.
And once I finish editing that video, I know I've got one ready. So as soon as I finish editing that, I upload it, because my upload time at the moment is around about 6 o'clock. So I upload at 6 and 7, sometimes 8, depending. And once that's uploaded, I give myself like 20, 30 minutes to just have a relax, like have a little scroll on TikTok, do whatever I want for a bit. And then I get straight back into editing my next video. So And keep in mind, editing a video isn't a quick process.
Yeah,
I try to,
nah.
yeah, you would know as a YouTuber yourself. It's not. It takes a while to make a good video. So one decent 20 to 30 second long TikTok can take up to an hour to edit. I would say an hour.
Damn.
Yeah. And this is because obviously if you see my interviews, you would know that the audio is really good, and that's because I'm holding up my phone and the
Yeah.
microphone is my phone. And you have to pair the audio to the video to make it work. So the lip syncs up with the audio, and even just that's a lengthy process. You have to airdrop the voice memos across to your phone. You have to get the videos from my camera to my computer. Then you have to sync them. Then you have to cut and crop the videos to the right points. Then I try to add like a funny, relevant clip into most of my videos, which
Yeah.
you may have noticed. And that requires me going to YouTube, finding that video, downloading it into an MP4 format, and then taking it across to Final Cut Pro, which is where I edit everything. And yeah, all in all, it takes up to an hour for sure for like a 20-second video. So it's a fair while. And obviously, I'm uploading 2 videos a day. So back to my nightly routine. Once I've finished editing my second video, I upload that straight away because by that time it's around about 7, 8 o'clock for my second upload. And then I get straight into editing my next video. I don't, with this the third video of the day, don't like make myself finish it. If I finish it, great. If not, then that's all right. I just always like to stay ahead. So I'm never not posting. So at the moment, I've posted every single day for the past month. There's never been a day where I haven't posted, which is what I want to keep at the moment. So if I'm always ahead, there'll always be something I can post, which is what I think is good.
Do you ever plan like going even further ahead though? So like you could actually like take a day or two off, but like still upload?
Yeah, so that's every now and then I'll sit down and just like straight edit, like get into a zone, smash out 5 videos, which obviously that's not 5 hours. Like when I say an hour for a video, that's like for a longer video with like heaps of clips from YouTube. But sometimes I can edit a video, say in 20 minutes, because I'm getting faster at it as time goes on as well. So I can edit a video in 20 minutes. Probably 30 minutes is the average, I'd say. But yeah, every now and then I'll try to smash out as many videos as I can, because the other thing, like I was saying earlier, I've been doing live streams every single night for the past week, and that takes up to 2 hours of my time, because the live streams are crazy at the moment. Like the questions just keep coming in, and like I just find myself keep answering these questions, and then before I know it, 2 hours is up and it's midnight, and then I've got work in 5 hours. Like it's pretty crazy at the moment. I'll be honest.
I mean, like, have you ever considered like live streaming you editing the videos in some sort of way?
I have thought about doing it, but the thing is with live streams, people are there to like for your attention.
Yeah.
So trying to focus on editing a video while also like trying to answer their questions would probably be a hard one to do. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a go, but I'm not sure.
Like, I reckon you could find maybe not like the whole editing process, but maybe a little bit of, because at the same time, like you don't want to show them the whole video like while you're editing it. Like then what's the point? But like, you know, maybe somehow fit it in there. So like, I mean, so the time that you're live streaming, you can be editing it, and maybe it might take 3 times as long to edit, but like,
then I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I know what you're saying.
But it is one of those things that at the same time, like, I feel like editing needs your full attention, and streaming, I say you can put 50% of your attention into whatever you're doing in your stream. Like, otherwise it wouldn't be possible to, you know, play games and stuff. But I guess it's a little bit different. Like, I guess it's more interesting to watch a game than someone edit. But there are people that do that, so I mean, like, it could work. But that's one thing as well. Like when you're going through the editing process, like, would you say a lot of the time would be like selecting what you actually got to use as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of footage which once I get it into my timeline, I'm like, it's either too similar to something I've already uploaded,
Yeah.
or it's just not interesting. Which I try to make use of all my footage, but yeah, sometimes I just can't use it and it gets discarded pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you keep it in case?
It depends. If I think I
Depends.
can use it for another video, then yeah, I'll keep it. But if it's just too similar to something I've already used, or because a lot of the time, especially when I'm doing a series,
Yeah,
say for hottest sport a guy can play, that's a pretty popular series on my
it
on my
is. It's a pretty good one.
yeah, yeah, we get some pretty good answers, but a lot of the time we get very, very similar, like just
Similar
answers. But
answers. Yeah,
sometimes, say if I get a similar answer to a previous video, like one I've already put like in a separate post, then I'll put it in. But I try to not have two of like the exact same answers in one video
yeah.
because it just gets boring. People will move on. They'll scroll past it.
It's getting really annoying. My chair. I'm getting a new one coming in. Sorry to go off topic, but basically, like you know, when you've had a chair for a while and like you know, like the gas in it that makes it stay up. Pretty much like what keeps on happening. I don't know if you can hear it, but it just keeps on falling. So I'm just like constantly like trying to like put it back up.
That's it.
It's pretty annoying. I mean, I that's one thing. TikTok. I got a chair off there for $20. It's meant to be like a gaming chair. It's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to see how dodgy it is. But if it's
you bought
like
it.
off like it was on an ad on TikTok, and
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? Let's try it. Let's see if it works.
Yeah,
If it doesn't, I've only spent $20. So, I mean, like, you know,
not too much.
it's better than like, well, I don't know how much those chairs even go for. Like, you can spend like over like what $500 on a chair
Oh
these
yeah,
days,
some of those chairs are they're crazy expensive.
and they're not even that good for you as well. Like, they're probably some of the worst chairs that you could get, like posture wise and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, just wreck your back.
Pretty much. I mean, for some people, like they do work better, like just depending on like your body shape and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But I know that like if I were gonna spend that much money, I'd probably like get like a Herman Miller chair or whatever they're called. You know,
yeah.
if you're spending a lot of money on something like that, you might as well get something that's actually good for you.
Mm.
But
Speaking of spending a lot of money, I just bought myself a new camera
ooh,
uh, film, to film TikTok videos. So obviously, I've seen the sudden increase in followers, and I thought the best thing I could do to make my videos better quality was to upgrade my equipment.
I mean,
So
I feel like that's just honestly a service to your followers. Like
yeah, exactly.
you'd be doing them wrong if you weren't, you know, investing back into it. I mean, obviously
100.
maybe not making money from it yet, but like probably will. But
Yeah,
I mean like honestly, like I mean having a following like that, like it's worth more than money, to be honest.
yeah, definitely. The support I get from some people is unreal. Like, I never expected it. Like, there's a couple of fan pages popping up, and like, I get messages every day, just people saying, "Hey, like, I love your TikToks, man. Like, I find them so funny. Like, they get me through." I get some people like messaging me, being like, "Hey, like, your videos get me through my day," and like, just stuff like that is really motivates me to keep going. Just for some people that are in a more difficult situation than I
Yeah.
am, I can help them out a little bit. Even it's a good feeling.
Yeah, you feel like you're genuinely making a difference in people's
Yeah,
lives. And I mean like at the end of the day, money, popularity, whatever, like I'm assuming that's why you're in it, to entertain people, make them feel good, you know.
yeah,
And
exactly.
like
Definitely.
at the end of the day, like if you're fulfilling that, then like everything else that comes with it is just like a byproduct, and it's
Yeah,
nice. I
it's a
mean,
bonus. Yes,
yeah,
all that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like one thing as well, like obviously, like before you came into this stardom, I guess, like when you were looking at other creators that like were popular, and you're sort of thinking like, you know, what is it that makes them different? Like, do you see yourself as like how do you look at yourself any differently, like at
Here's
all?
No, here's the thing though. So I don't look at myself any differently to what I was 2 months ago. But just having that number on my name, like against my name, it makes other people treat me a little bit different,
Yeah,
which I don't like that much. It's sometimes it is a bit annoying. Like for example, I'll have people coming up to me, or just even every now and then I get messages on Snapchat or Instagram being like, "Damn, like you're famous now." And like
yeah,
I don't want to classify myself as famous, and like I feel exactly the same as I was 2 months ago. And like if people coming up to me and like trying to have a convo with me, no, like, I'm never gonna consider myself better than them. And
yeah,
like, hey, no, like I've got this many followers. I'm not gonna talk to you. Like, no way. And even if I keep growing at this rate and get more, like potentially a fair bit more, there's no way I want to start treating people different, or like I don't know. There's a lot of people that definitely take that number really seriously and then treat you differently because of the number.
yeah.
But I mean, there's not much you can do about it.
I mean, I think the thing that would be hard is that like I don't know if you've gotten this yet, but like mainly people that like you've known before, like them completely changing the way they interact with you, I guess. Like that would
Yeah.
be the hard bit because it's like for example, like I don't know, like say you're talking to a girl or something like that, you know, are you single?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
All right, he's single. So, but like say you had a girlfriend or something like that, you know, things didn't work out. Normally, like I don't know, you have all your problems stuff, you get your life together, you get your job, car, whatever, you know, she sort of expects to you to get to be able to see you as being like successful. And then she's like, you know what? I see you improving. I'm gonna like get back with you sort of thing. Like I see that as sort of like acceptable, but like if that
Yeah.
happened with TikTok, that's like a completely like different situation. But like do you feel like obvious like do you get any of that? Like obviously maybe not to the extent of having an ex or whatever, but like
Yeah.
like
Not like I've had a few girlfriends or whatever, and we haven't like none of them have like come
yeah.
back and be like, oh, I want to get back at you. Like, and I definitely like that's not. If they did that, I'd be like, come on, like that's
I guess what I'm
like
trying to say is that like obviously like what you're doing is considered being successful and like obviously there's some people in life that you know maybe they're drawn a little bit away from you because obviously they like maybe at the time you weren't successful or whatever like I'm trying to work out the words I'm trying to use but I can't think
I think I know
like
what you mean.
like
So
you know how like some people will come back when you're more successful and they actually see you're going somewhere in life
yeah,
like it's one of
there.
those things that's hard to look at because it's stardom like are they coming back because of the stardom or are they coming back because they actually like see they can actually see themselves like associating with me now like
Yeah,
it's one of those things that like I guess like whatever interactions I guess you have with people that I guess you didn't really talk to as much before, like you're always gonna I guess second guess their intentions.
yeah, which yeah, I don't want to do because yeah, like I said, I'd like just to treat them all the same. But there's been a few cases where people have messaged me, or it's all been messages mostly,
Yeah,
where I'm like, I feel like this is a bit of a random message, and like they'll ask me, like, "Hey, how you going? It's been like a long time." I'm like, "This is a bit random for you to message me like that," but like obviously it's alright. I don't
yeah,
care. I'll let them do that,
because like
and I'm not going to treat them any differently. Like I'll still, you know, I don't want to treat them any
yeah,
differently.
because I mean it could literally be like they're on TikTok, they're going through their you know going through their feed. You come up on the screen, they're like, "Oh shit! I actually haven't talked to him in ages." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
and it genuinely just reminds them, like, you know what? I'll message him. Like, why not? But like, I feel like there's other people where like they're like, shit, alright, I was sort of friends with him. Let's try like rekindle this in case he gets famous. Like just real
That's what
quickly.
I.
Which I mean, it's one of those things, but like I'm sure you have people as well where like they might not actually message you because of that. Like that's
Yeah.
one thing. Like you might genuinely have people that are like, you come up, they're like, shit, I haven't talked to him in ages, and like, it might have come to the time where like, those people that sort of come in and out of your life every now and then. They might
Mhm.
not come in this time because they're like, oh, he might think that I'm coming in because he's famous. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I mean, like, one thing that I've learned is just to not care, to be honest. Like, people are gonna go in and out of your life no matter what at the end of the day. And I mean, if it's genuine or not, I guess it'll come across like long term in their actions. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Definitely.
I mean, I'm sure like you're not gonna drop off, but I'm sure there'll be times where you might plateau for a little bit. I guess in
Yeah. Oh,
those I guess
it's
in,
it's
I guess in those times that's when you'll be like, yeah, shit, these are the people that are actually down to write, I guess.
mm. It's during those times which, yeah, I'll definitely find out who's actually here for the friendship, or are they here for the clout, as what people call it.
Yeah. That's one thing. Do you think there will ever be like an Adelaide, hype cloud house in like Adelaide? Do you
Yeah,
think that
it's interesting you say that, because
it,
I'm in a group chat with all the Adelaide like TikTokers, I guess you could call them. Got a few other people in there, and we've been discussing a couple of things. Obviously, it's not anything that's going to be happening anytime soon,
yeah.
but we've got ideas for the future. So I guess you
It's
could start getting excited for them.
it's
We've
in
got a
in,
few,
in, in the making.
yeah, in the
I
making.
mean, like that. Like, that's one thing that'd be very cool because I mean, like Adelaide as a whole, like there's what you've got Raka Raka and you've got Fairbairn Films, like that. That's pretty like obviously there's more than that, but generally before TikTok, that's really what it's been, and
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting to potentially we're to be seeing more content creators coming out of Adelaide, which is lovely to see. It's always lovely to, see Rundle Mall on my For You page. It's like, it's good to see because there's quite a few of them now, which makes it.
Hmm. Yeah, we've really started a sort of a trend, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's definitely more people doing it now than there was, say, a month ago, when there was sort of just a few of us starting out doing interviews. Which, like, some people, there's a couple of people that get a little bit annoyed about it. They're like, oh, they're trying to copy, but I just say, like, let them go. If they're having a bit of fun doing it, then that's fine.
I mean, like, I don't see it as a bad thing because, like, at the end of the day, like, it might be copying, but obviously, like, what? It's in Rundle Mall and they're doing interviews. That's generally what they're copying. And like, at the end of the day, like, if they're gonna copy, that's fine. It's just up to them to be able to, like, make it unique to them.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that's one thing that I like. There's always something a little bit different about each one of these people, and I find it interesting. It makes it so, like, for example, like, you know, if I've watched your videos and then I see another TikToker come up and they're in Rundle Mall doing sort of the same stuff, like, I'm gonna be more open to watch it because it's already relatable. Like, I've already had a good experience over here, so I guess
Exactly.
I guess people are trying to pick up on that. Which, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, it I think the most interesting thing about it is that I feel like each one of you guys is inspiring people. Like, I don't think they're copying. I feel like they're just being inspired to actually do something.
Which
That
is that's how I look at it. I like to think that I'm inspiring
Yeah,
other younger people to get out and step outside their comfort zone. That's the main thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be interviews to step outside your comfort zone, but the biggest step I had to do in starting this whole TikTok thing was to start talking to random people, which is stepping outside my comfort zone. So people might already be doing that. So the biggest thing I'm hoping I can get across in my videos is like sometimes like you just have to go for something. Like if you see an opportunity, like and you think maybe it will work, like what do you got to lose? Just go for it. That's what I want to get across to people.
Yeah, like that's one thing. I mean, like if you don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen. But like, I mean, I feel like it's just getting your foot in the door, actually starting to do it. Because I'm sure you've learned this, is that the more ideas you create, the easier they become to make as well.
Oh, yeah,
Because
definitely.
like I'm sure at the start, like you might have been sitting there, it's like, oh fuck, what do I do? You know, I've made this great amazing video over here, and now I have to match it, and you're sort
Yeah,
of just racking through your brain. And
yeah,
like I think one thing as well is for anyone that's like starting to be a content creator, you know, is trial and error. Like at the end of the day, you're going to make bad videos. You're going to make bad content. And I think
yeah.
that's like one thing that you have to realize is that like no matter what, like I'm sure in like 6 months time from now, you're gonna look at your videos now and you're gonna be like, they're completely horrible. Like I can do them
Oh,
so much better. Like like that's one thing I've learned is that the best thing I create always becomes the worst thing that I've created, if that makes
oh yeah,
sense. Like you can
sure.
always get better, and like it only gets easier the more you do it, because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like life is a big ball. Like the earth is just a big ball of statistics.
it is. Yeah, it's yeah. A lot of people just revolve their life around the numbers. I mean, yeah, it depends. Depends how you look at it, but
I mean, life is numbers. It's just I feel like it's not getting caught up on them as well, because
oh
I,
yeah, definitely.
I mean it's it's just one of those things. Like if you get caught too up in the numbers, then you're you're going to be focusing your content around those numbers. And yeah, it might in the short term be able to get you more views and followers in the short term, but in the long term, you're like, I think that's one mistake people get into when they're creating content, and that's why they burn out, is that they'll start making content, they might do something a little bit different than they normally do, that picks up, and then they keep trying to make that, and then it gets to a point where it's just not them anymore.
Yeah,
Whereas,
definitely.
like as you were saying, like when you just do stuff on the fly, when you do it naturally, that's what works. And at the end of the day, like that's what you want to work as well. So like
Yeah, sure.
that's one thing. Like just always be yourself. I mean, of course, like that maybe it is better to not be yourself, but I think it's easier to be yourself. Like at the end of the day, like what's the point of being someone you're not really?
The biggest part about like trying to be yourself is especially say you're faking someone on screen for a video and you're being you're pretty much just trying to be someone else and like maybe it'll work for a little bit at the start but say you start to get a little bit of a following behind you and people actually start to see you in person and recognize you and they realize that who you are on screen isn't actually who you are in
Yeah.
real life that can like change their opinion on you. I reckon it's so much better just to always be yourself in videos and not.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's obviously a good idea. I feel like I don't want to make the mistake of saying that you should always be the same, because I think we are human. We're gonna grow and change,
Yeah,
and it is always like I think it's better to try focus on the aspects that you think are your better aspects. Like that's obviously important, but I think one thing is never leave behind what you're bad at. Like you're never gonna get better at it if like you don't put those things on camera. Like I
oh
get
yeah,
I guess it's one of those things that like if you're not feeling natural and you're thinking about what you're saying and doing while you're doing it, then you're probably not being yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned. Like, you're sort of just gonna be in the moment, you know. Like, have you played sport?
Well, if you call skateboarding a sport, then
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I feel like it might even apply a bit more. But like, like, are you familiar with like flow state, where you're just flowing?
Yeah.
You're sort of just doing it. You're not really thinking. It's
Well,
just
okay, I can definitely relate with skateboarding with this for sure. So, for example, skateboarding comps, I do a fair few of them. Not at the moment because of Corona, but
yeah,
I did a fair few comps last year, and I normally try to plan my run.
yeah.
So figure out what I'm going to do. But obviously, not everything goes to plan. For instance, the start of this podcast stuff stopped working, and we had to improvise and figure out, make our way around it, which we ended up doing, which is good. But for instance, say I had my whole run planned, I was ready to go, and then bam, it's my turn to do my run. I do my first trick and I stuff it up completely. My board shoots out. This is real. I'm not making this up. My
Yeah.
board shoots. I have to run and grab it. It's on the other side of the park now, and all of a sudden I'm like not in my spot. I wasn't planned for this. I was meant to do this trick before that, and now I've got 50 seconds left. What am I going to do? I have to improvise my run. So straight away, I just without even thinking, I just chuck my board down and just start doing tricks like on the spot. Just all right, there's a rail there. I'm going to do a quick board slide on it. All right, there's a box up there. I'll jump onto that. Kickflip off, like on the spot, improvising, all natural, and then I actually ended up getting a good score at the end, even though it wasn't planned or anything.
Yeah, I mean, like that's. I find that so interesting though. Like, I've never done skateboarding, but like, I feel like that's one of those things. Like, when you're in the moment, you just do stuff better because you're not thinking about it. Like,
Yeah,
whereas
exactly.
when you're planning it, you're just giving yourself like you're pretty much planning all the ways that you can mess up.
Yeah, you're giving like opportunities to mess up. So
Yeah,
sometimes when you're improvising, like you don't know what's going to come, so you don't know how to mess up in a way.
yeah. Like, you're just doing it. You're just going with the flow, and like it's a good state to be in. Like, you're not really thinking. You're just doing, and like
Mhm.
that's one thing though. How long have you been competing for? Like, you said you've been skating. Was it for 7 years?
Years, yeah.
And
I've
like,
been competing for the past 3 years, I'd say.
shit. And like how good would you say you are? Like,
Um, well, I picked skateboarding is what picked up my first few sponsors, and then I got first in South Australia for under 16s back when I was 16. I actually got that 2 years in a row,
yeah.
and then I did pretty well in opens as well. I got a couple of firsts and I think a second, but I didn't win first overall in the state.
So yeah, wait. So in a sense, like would like before doing TikTok and stuff like that, like was the goal? I mean, it still could be the goal, but was the goal to be able to make that into a career?
Yeah, so before TikTok, it was all Instagram and skate edits, and yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing. So I'd go out, film skateboarding, and try and make a really good edit to post on Instagram. I even got into a bit of like neon editing. It's sort of hard to explain
Oh
without
yeah,
seeing.
yeah, yeah. Like sort of like where like
Yeah,
you know the outline of you is
yeah,
just like
yeah.
neon, like sort of like black light vibe poster, sort of crazy
So I
colors.
got into a bit of that. Obviously, that was just me experimenting, trying to take my skateboarding thing into a different avenue.
Yeah,
That was actually working. That gained me a fair few followers on Instagram. And I started to make a bit of money off that as well because I was editing stuff for people. They would hit me up and say, "Hey, can you edit this?" And I'd charge them $50 for an edit, say. And that, yeah, I got a bit of money off that, but that was really time consuming. So that's when I moved to TikTok because I started posting my neon edits on TikTok. That was some of the first stuff I posted. Didn't do that well, and then around about that time is when I first did my first interview. So that's how that came along.
Exciting, exciting. But I mean, do you still see a future in that? Like, you can have like all these different sources of
Yeah,
income,
so
pretty much.
obviously skateboarding's where everything started, and I
Yeah,
still absolutely love skateboarding. Like I'll still skate every weekend. Like in my all my videos, I've got my skateboard. It's sort of like I guess you could sort of call it a signature thing for my name. Because I always have my skateboard with me.
yeah,
A lot of people recognize me and run the mall with my
because of your
skateboard. Sometimes they
skateboard.
call me like the skater TikToker or stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so what I want to be able to do is obviously take my following across to my other platforms. Which, if they go to Instagram, obviously they're going to see all my skateboarding stuff. So, and I want to keep posting skateboarding on my Instagram as well. Maybe take it to like a little bit of a different avenue with getting other people involved. But yeah, I still want to keep skateboarding as a main focus
Yeah,
on some platforms.
for sure. And I mean, if just to rehash it again, if you're not following him on Instagram or subscribe to him on YouTube, go do that. And I mean, I'm sure you've got him on TikTok, but if you don't, go ahead and do that for some people that might not. But
Yes, thank It would be a pretty
get those fat Instagram followers and YouTube.
yes.
But either way, so you've got a lot like that can go right for you pretty much. Like you've got the TikTok, you've got the skateboarding. I mean, obviously, did you say electrician?
Yeah, I'm an apprentice electrician. Yep.
I mean, like, I mean, you've got that. You've even got that to fall back on. Like worst case scenario. I mean, like, I'm assuming you're just gonna do that until you start making enough money off of TikTok
Yeah,
and YouTube and all that.
that's the plan. Yep.
I mean, like, besides that, like, let's just theorize here. Let's just say all of this just disappears. Like, electrician, is that something that, like, you've always wanted to do or, like, sort of just ended up in it?
Yeah, so I always was gonna get a trade,
Yeah.
sort of something that sort of runs in the family, I guess. My dad's a plumber, and my grandpa was an electrician, and then like my uncles, just most people I know, like in my family, they've all got some sort of trade. So I sort of just always thought I'd probably get a trade, and yeah, ended up applying to be an electrician, and I got in with a company. And I always like knew that it's something that I would do, but not like really enjoy. But it's just something
Yeah.
that would get me money, and
Yeah.
it's good money, like no doubt about it. It's I get like enough money to be able to afford some good things, such as like I bought that new camera the other day,
Yeah.
and I'm saving up to buy a new car, just stuff like that. It definitely it's a reliable income source,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say I like absolutely love doing it. I'm not motivated, like super motivated to get up every morning to go to work. What does keep me motivated is knowing I've got all this other stuff that's working and stuff I actually like absolutely love doing.
Yeah. Do you think it helps though, like keeping you in like a routine to be able to do all this TikTok stuff? Because I can imagine, like, obviously, once you get to the point where you're making enough money, now, like, you'd assume you're probably making more content, but at the same time, like, now, all this time where you've been working, you've just got this free block. Because then you'd probably be tempted to, like, do things at different times and all of that. Like, do you think it helps, like, structure it all?
Are you saying like having my job as an
Yeah.
electrician help?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like,
I think like what it does help with, which I've found, is like I spend a ridiculous amount of time on my phone. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to get off it. Like I'm on it too much. Like most
yeah.
of the, it's like it's productive. Like I'm actually editing like a TikTok video, or I'm like messaging some potential sponsors, like trying to work out some collabs with people. Like most of the time it is productive, but
Yeah.
I do find there is like a fair bit of time which I'm just like, oh, I could have been more productive in this area or whatever, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
it happens to everyone, but I find by having worked like the 8 hours at work where I can't be on my phone because I'm working.
Yeah,
Like
that would help so
is
much
that it
because
puts it
like
away a bit.
because like the thing is as well, like I'm sure you like me, like whenever you upload a TikTok, you're probably like, I'm gonna check my phone, put it
Yeah,
away. 2 minutes later, you're just like, just keep checking it. Nothing new. Like that 8 hours where you're working, like it probably feels so good because obviously you check it before work, your breaks or whatever, and then after work, and now you've got all this time that's passed that if you weren't working, you're probably just looking at your phone the whole time anyway.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so just having that time at work where I put my phone down for a bit is good. And then when you go back on it during the break, like there's a heap more notifications. So in a way, it's more satisfying.
100% though, like do notifications ever get too much? Like, I don't know, you might be trying to message someone on Snapchat, you go to press something on some sort of app and then a notification comes up and then you end back up on TikTok. Does that ever
Yeah,
happen?
actually, I had to turn my notifications off because yeah, it was just it's pretty crazy.
Pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Every time you refresh, it's just like a bunch more stuff. It's a good feeling, but yeah, the notifications is just over the top.
I mean, like, at the same time though, it would be a good feeling. Like, I probably like would every now and then just turn my notifications on because like most of the time I don't even have like the sound, so it doesn't make the ding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, do you ever have times where you turn it on, make it as loud as you can, so you can just hear like just a heap of notifications?
No,
Like,
actually, surprisingly, maybe
I
I will
I
after.
reckon you should do it. Like after the stream, just do it, and just
Yeah,
like just because I reckon it'd be really satisfying. It would
yeah,
be hundred
it is.
percent, but like don't get addicted to it because
No,
like
that's not what you're looking out for.
I feel like that's sort of you know getting into the numbers too much because I feel like there's a trap there. You don't want to get caught up in all the numbers because at the end of the day, you're just there to make people happy. And I mean, if
Yeah,
you get happy from it, then that's just big bonus.
yeah. It's another one of those little bonuses.
Now, I do have to ask. So, sport wise, obviously skateboarding,
Yeah.
but do you follow sports?
I wish I had the time for it, but yeah, like I said, I went.
No time.
There's no time for keeping up with it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's one thing. That's one thing as well. So skateboarding, like, so you said 7 years, so that means you would have started when you were like 10.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like it made it easier starting at that age? Because like, I could, like that's one thing. Like, I mean, I haven't tried doing it again, but I can imagine that it would be harder for me to learn it at 20 compared to if I was 10. Like, is there any tips you would give to someone learning, like wanting to learn skateboarding when they're older?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the bonus of being younger is like I didn't care what people thought of me.
Mm.
Uh, like obviously being older and starting out, a big thing why people quit is because they're like they don't want to be called like a poser or like
Yeah.
don't want to be seen by other like better skaters like
Yeah.
them just yeah. Which like coming from like I would say I'm a pretty good skateboarder and coming from that perspective, like I love seeing people like starting out
Yeah.
and the board. Like I think it's a good thing because the more skateboarders the better because it is a bit it's not so much of a mainstream sport like everything else is. So I love seeing the up and comers and new people getting onto it. And yeah, biggest tip for like anyone starting, young or old, is to yeah, not don't care what
Yeah.
people say. There's always going to be judgment. There's like I get judgment for uploading TikTok videos. Like
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care anymore.
I mean,
But yeah, just stick at it. That's the biggest thing I can say. Just stick at it and just not care what people think.
it's like I feel like it's a similar thing to why a lot of people struggle, myself included, to go to the gym and consistently go because like each time you go, like you're seeing all these other people that are doing a lot better than you, and it's like you just feel like you don't belong. I feel like that's one thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like with skateboarding though, I feel like a part of it that would actually be hard is that when you're younger, I feel like you've got less fear. Like
Yeah.
I feel like,
Depends what type of person you are, I reckon.
of course, but like I'd say when I was younger, like compared to now, like I would take more risks when I was younger
Hmm.
compared to now. Like I don't know, like if I were to like be on my roof or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna jump off my roof. Like when I was 10, I probably wouldn't have thought about it that much. Now I'd be
Yeah.
like, this could go badly. But I feel like
Yeah.
it's just because like over time you sort of just like you
Yeah.
start to learn things that could go wrong, and
Yeah.
you're like, if this could go wrong, then it's not worth doing. And I feel like that's one thing that'd be interesting, like trying to get into something like that. Because I mean, just been always like every now and then, like if a mate has like had a board or something, I've like ridden on it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, this is sort of interesting, but I've never really got into it. I mean, I still have it. I bought a scooter, and I used to do that, but like the only thing I could ever do was like a bri flip, and if I don't think I ever actually landed it, but that's the only thing I ever really learned. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I feel like at least like I feel like it'd be easier to learn when you're younger, because I feel like
Uh,
you don't really care about that judgment as much as you do when you get older.
which that's what I've sort of tried to like get into my videos now, is finding that younger sense of not caring what people think, which I've definitely found now. Like I have no shame anymore, like going up and asking people to be in videos and like
Yeah,
what they think. Like I used to be scared, like, oh, then maybe they'll reject me. Maybe they would think it's stupid that I make videos on TikTok. Now it's literally there's no
yeah.
shame going up and asking people.
I mean, like, what's the worst they can say? They can say no, and then
Exactly.
like, there's so many other people there. I mean, like, me personally, like, I do door knocking, which is a fun job. Um,
Yeah.
and like obviously, like going door to door, like one thing I learned is that like people say no, people tell me to go away, but like at the end of the day, there's always another door. In your situation, there's always other people. Like
Exactly.
you don't have anything to lose at the end of the day. Like if this is the thing, if you don't do it, you'll never know if you'll just never know. It'll always be a what if, and I feel like that's one thing. Like people don't really get into all the content creation and stuff like that, because they're always thinking what if, and then after 10 years pass, they're probably past the age of when they were younger, when they could have used that, and they
Hmm.
just think what if. Like that's
Yeah.
one thing, just taking action on it. But one thing as well, like do you feel like that's helped you like across like your whole life, like going up to people randomly, like does it help you in any other situations?
Yeah. Definitely. Like just being able to have a flowful, good conversation with the random strangers is
It's a
it's
good
it's,
feeling.
it's a good feeling. And the other thing is I've made some like really good friends over the past few months. And not just people I make TikToks with. Like I've got some really good friends just from people I've interviewed. Like some people like they like to stick around and like have a little chat once the cameras
Yeah.
have stopped rolling. And yeah, like I've made some good friends just from people like that. And like if I hadn't have initiated a conversation of first asking them, it would never have happened, you know?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I have to ask, because obviously I'm sure you're familiar with the town rats, or the term town rats.
Yeah.
Do you feel like instead of the Maya Alley, it's sort of turned into, people hanging around all of these TikTokers now, would you say?
Yeah. It's a done thing now. Like a lot of people if they're going into Rundle Mall now expecting to get asked, like a lot of people, I go up to them and be like, "Hey, you want to be a TikTok?" And they're like, "I've been waiting for someone to ask me to be in a TikTok." Like it's widely known throughout
Yeah.
Adelaide, like especially the younger generation that have TikTok. That's a done thing now.
I mean, I think it's just a positive thing that
Yeah,
they're actually gonna migrate from the Maya Alley. So
yeah,
that is
exactly.
fantastic because I mean, I spent a bit of time there. Like I wouldn't say I was a town rat, but like you know, every now and then, that is where I'd be. That's where all the cool kids hang out.
Yeah,
But like, I think it's good because obviously, like, I think one positive thing is because a lot of those kids, that's the place they go because they can smoke there as well. So that's good. They're
yeah,
getting nicotine free as well. And
yeah.
I think like the whole positive on it, because I'd say like generally, like I'd say like compared to any other crowd I was a part of, like they were probably the most the crowd that got up to the most mischief, and I think it's like a positive thing that you know potentially over time like these people are getting influenced and like you know starting their own content creation as well. And I think that's the most interesting thing out of all of it is that people that wouldn't necessarily go down those paths are starting to go down them, which
Mm.
is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just checking the notes, checking the notes. But either way, I mean, would you say that it helps with the ladies, the fame? Like, have
Um,
you seen more attention or like not really?
it's depends because, well, yes, definitely, but it's sort of hard to know what they're in it for. Um, a lot of people, they add me on Snapchat, and
Yeah,
then sometimes I'll add them back. Like sometimes I'll look them up on Instagram first and be
yeah.
like, oh, or not. But sometimes I add people back when they add me, and a lot of time they'll be like, "Oh, no way! I didn't think you'd add me back. Like you're the guy from."
You're the guy from TikTok. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, like thanks, blah blah blah." And yeah, like, sometimes that's all they'll say. But there's people that like they're like, "Hey, let's meet up." Like, actually, just before this podcast, I got a random caller on Instagram, and I had no idea who it was. Like, because my phone was turned off, only the username came up, so like I couldn't see a profile picture.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll just answer. And it was just a random girl. I've never heard of her before, and she's like, "Hey, I'm in the city skateboarding. Are you here by any chance? I'd love to go skating with you." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not actually. I'm at home." But it was just really funny. It was so random. I was like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I just seen you on TikTok." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, maybe next time in the city we can go for a skate."
That's so weird though, but like cool at the same time. Like it's weird in the sense that like just imagine like being a person, you're in the city and you're just like, I know a TikToker that skates. I'm just gonna call them on Instagram. Like it's so direct. It's like
Yeah,
you know, I'm not gonna just follow him. I'm not gonna like message him first. I'm just gonna straight up call him. Like
yeah,
why
it's
not?
I actually thought it was pretty funny,
Yeah,
so
but that's
I gave her a follow. I was like, yeah, you know what,
you know
you have
what.
to call me. Maybe we'll go for a skate one time.
Like that's very forward. Like I mean that's what you want. I mean like if they're willing to do that, then obviously like that's a person and a girl that I would say she just thinks you're cool, not like she doesn't see you as like any higher because like
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I'd like them to
yeah
see me as well.
because like I'm not gonna like who's famous these days. I'm not gonna just randomly call a famous person on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I think that's a good thing that like you know people obviously see that you're still the same. You're still made of the same stuff, which is always lovely.
Yeah. It's good.
But either way, is there anything about you that you know we haven't covered that you'd like to share about yourself? Anything you want to talk about? Like this is your moment. Like any random topics you want to talk about.
I guess there's not really any random stuff I would like to talk about, but if like there's any people watching, like wondering if they should get into it themselves, like start making videos or whatever, I'd love to say just go for it. Like honestly, just step outside your comfort zone and just take that first step, upload that first video, and you never know, like things can start kicking off. Like if I had said a month ago, you know what, I'll wait another week or I'll wait another 2 weeks, then I guarantee it wouldn't have happened the way it has. So yeah, I just want to encourage everyone just to take that first step, and even if you don't see results after like the first few tries, like I didn't see results for 2 weeks at least, and that's uploading every single day. So by then, most people I would say would give up.
Yeah.
But I stuck at it, and now I'm seeing some insane results. So yeah, just stick at it. Like even if it's not TikTok, if it's something else, if it's a sport or a hobby, and you want to get better, it applies to a lot of things. You just got to stick at it.
I mean, repetition is a big thing.
Yeah.
That I feel like people don't necessarily try hard enough. Maybe I'm a bit guilty of it as well. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like if you don't put in the effort, you're not gonna get anywhere. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yep.
But yeah.
It's been good being my first podcast. Very
It
exciting.
has. I mean, it's been good for me as well. I mean, like honestly, that's one thing as well. When you're creating your content and you know you keep on doing it, one thing that's important is that you know you review it, you look back at it, and you're like, how can I do this different? And this is an example of it for me. You know, like obviously after this, I'm gonna be like, what could have I done better? Like I'm sure there's so much I can improve on, 100%.
Exactly.
And like, I think if anything, you guys should take this as an example. Everyone that watches my podcast and like keeps on watching them, like watch it from this point, and then keep watching each one, and you'll see massive improvement. Like honestly, it's been fun. It's been fun. I mean, like one thing is like 100% like with being natural. 100%, because I mean I wrote notes down and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like I completely forgot about them.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Honestly, when you plan stuff, all you do is plan to hold yourself back, because at the end of the day, like if you're planning something, you're putting yourself in a box.
Yeah,
like that's effectively what you're doing.
You're like, I got to stick to the plan. Like I said this, I'm going to stick to it. If you don't have a plan, then you're free to do anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, guidelines, but, like, you know, you don't want to restrict yourself. Like, of course, like, you don't want to have no plan at all, because otherwise, then, like, that's probably worse, I'd say. But, like, you just want to be as natural as you can, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to work, because one thing is you're always going to be the best person at being you. You're not going to be the best person of being anyone else. But
100%.
But yeah, I don't know if we've got anyone in here still. But is there any questions that anyone has? If there's anyone here, I know we've got Amy Kate.
Hello to any viewers.
Hello. We'll just wait. Or someone messaged me saying, "He, I'm watching your podcast," but they texted it to me. But oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense who you are. G'day. Do you have any questions for Jaxon or myself? But honestly, like, I mean, as I said, like before when I was messaging you, like, long term, like I want to do this in real life. So
yeah, that'd be really cool.
I mean, like, you know, once I get it to that point, we'll have you again, have you in person. Like, I think the idea that I've got is, I mean, I'm sure you've watched Top Gear before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And you know how like pretty much every guest they had come on, they like did a lap of the track or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be cool, maybe not to that extent, but have something like that where like each person does it that comes on, have a leaderboard and stuff like that. I reckon
Yeah.
that'd be semi unique. Obviously,
It would.
Top Gear have done it, but I mean,
It's different from what, like, obviously we're not racing a track, so
exactly.
yeah.
Maybe we'll like. That'd be interesting though. Like, all right, so here's my car, here's my keys. Now you're just gonna see how fast you can go around the block without getting caught. I reckon that'd be a very, very, very interesting thing because I don't know. Let,
That would be funny.
but yeah, it doesn't look like we've got any questions. So that
Oh,
sucks.
good.
That sucks. But I mean, either way, it's been fun having you.
Yes.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, good to get to know you as well.
It's been fantastic. What should I say at the end that I should say every time? Probably just goodbye. Probably just goodbye.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a good one. But yeah, thanks for
Thank.
coming, guys, and for everyone that watches this after, be sure to share it around, and also obviously get onto all of the social medias for Jaxon.
Yeah, if any watching this after have any other questions, I'll always respond to Instagram DMs. So if you message me there, then I can reply to that.
He's a pretty good replier as well. Like I'd say, solid reply game.
That's right.
But thanks for coming, guys, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I mean, at this rate, I'll be having the podcast next week at the same time with a new guest. We've got people in the talks, but can't confirm anything yet. But we'll see you next time. Is there anything else you want to say?
Thanks for having me.
All right.